Rookie minicamp is this Friday. It's a very interesting. It's the first time you get to see college players the Niners picked on the football field together. And I swear it is a moment of truth when you've been to a lot of these for us, because it's one thing to watch them on YouTube on college fields. It's hard. But when you see them in the NFL context, in a field with all other NFL players, and where you can remember like what Dante Pettis looked on his first rookie minicamp, what Nick Bosa looked like in his first rookie minicamp. I mean, it is a moment of truth. Who are you most interested to see your first impression of?
I mean, a bunch of guys, but I'll say this. The Niners have an undrafted kid out of North Dakota State named Spencer Wagee, who I did an interview with this week. And in doing the interview, I looked up every bit of info I could find. And what I found was this kid at 6'5 plus 300 pounds had a 1.66 10-yard split, the identical 10-yard split to Isaiah Foskey, a better 10-yard split than Aldon Smith had when he came out of Missouri, and he's 300 pounds. The best defensive tackle 10-yard split in the draft was Kalijah Cansey, who went in round 1 to Tampa. It was 164. He weighs 280 pounds. This guy's 6'5", 300, and he ran 166. So I got to see what Spencer Wagee, who says that he models his game after J.J. Watt, does he look like J.J. Watt? Because that 166 at 3 bills is cooking.
He models his game after J.J. Watt. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, exactly.
When I go to the gym and I work out, I'm thinking one day I'm going to look like J.J. Watt if I just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the rookie I'm most intrigued to watch is, the guys in round 3 minus Moody. I'm actually going to be able to judge Jake Moody in a practice. Nah, I want to see Jair Brown and Cam Latu, particularly Jair Brown. I want to see what he should be like, the alpha of alphas on this field. They traded up for him. He's a 3rd round pick. He should carry himself like he's the best player on the field. And then Cam Latu as well. Man, you are the number one. You're supposed to be the best offensive player on the field. Do you look like it? I want to know. Yeah. Because Dante Pettis in his first rookie minicamp did not. And I wrote him off from that day forward. I'm sorry. It's like, dude, you're the 2nd round pick here. And like, there are multiple undrafted free agents who are playing harder than you on this day. Also, yeah, how seriously do you take the practice? It's May. And it really doesn't matter.
It's not about the practice.
I'm watching.
It's about the movement and the conditioning. Are they in condition? How do they move? I'll give you one.
How do they compete?
How do they compete? And just how do they look? I mean, we were at every mini camp, every training camp. We know what it's supposed to look like. At this point, we know what a premier linebacker looks like. So if we see D. Winters and Jalen Graham and they're bouncing around the field and they look like they would belong on the field with Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner and last year Aziz, if they're in that caliber, and I think Marcelino McCrary Ball's in that caliber, you could see it right away. But if these guys are in that caliber, then it's like, wow, they really got something. I think I'm eager to see those two guys too, because I think both of them are terrific linebackers. The Niners are hitting on linebackers right now, and I think they hit on 2 more.
Remember last year, our first impression of Drake Jackson? We both came back and we were like, huh. Not the body I was expecting. Doesn't really have an NFL body yet. Little soft, little. Like, I bet you it's going to look a whole lot different this year. It's what some of the pictures show, that he's much more muscled up, which is what you would expect. But we had that first impression of Drake Jackson last year. Yeah, both of us. Yes.
Yeah, that he looked more like Arden Key and less like D Ford. I remember saying that to you. Yeah. I'm like, man, Grant, I thought this guy he was sold as like edge rusher speed, and he looks more like Arden Key, like he could play tackle. And sure enough, they played him inside late in the year in their 4D end alignment. So, that
he was better rushing the interior also.
I want to see Jordan. I want to see Beal too, because if you're a 4-4 kid who played at Georgia, you might stand out on a field of athletes. A 4-4 defensive end who was a 5-star guy coming out of high school, played at Georgia, might really stand out.
I want to see who has the NFL body, because a lot of college players get drafted and it's like, you need a year. You just don't have it quite yet. I mean, Kittle was that way. Fred Warner was that way. But some guys come in and have this NFL body already, like Jordan Mason. You could tell, and he wanted to show it off. He would like show off his midriff and stuff. He had this like 225-pound running back with a 6-pack. It's like, Where did you come from? Ty Davis Price doesn't look like that. So I want to see like which guys have NFL bodies right now. Like Dante Pettis never had one. I don't think Elijah Mitchell really has ever had one, even though he's a hell of a player, but he does get hurt a lot, and that's part of the reason why. Who's really ready to play this man's game right now?
Yeah, I mean, the other guy that I'm gonna be very interested to watch is the YouTube sensation or the Twitter sensation, Isaiah Winstead, simply because, I mean, dude's big. His movement ability in that video was legit, even though the 4.7 is the ruling stat, right? That tells us that he can't play. 4.7 really should tell us that he can't play in the NFL. So I'm going in thinking he can't do it. But
that being said, Juwan Jennings already defied those odds.
Right.
So there's a path.
And Winstead was the one thing that's just tells you that he can is the guy caught 88 passes this year for over 1,000 yards, almost 1,100 yards, and like 6 or 7 touchdowns. So and he did it for East Carolina. He didn't do it for UC Davis. I mean, he did it for East Carolina. So to me,
shots fired at UC Davis.
Well, sorry, I didn't do it at Sac State. I mean, didn't do it.
JT O'Sullivan.
Marte Mapu. Yeah, but I mean, East Carolina that's a good league. You know, they play good teams, and those stats of 88 catches mean something. And that workout film showed unbelievable stop and start quickness at that size. And somehow he caught all those balls. So I want to see what that guy looks like against NFL caliber corners.
Also, the way I look at it is I feel like Kyle, unless he can find George Kittle, he's just going to turn George Kittle into 2 players. You know, a really good blocker and a big slot receiver who runs like a tight end but is a better route runner. I mean, I think Juwan Jennings is essentially a tight end on this team. You could put him in the slot. You could call him a slot receiver, but the routes he runs, it's probably the routes that Jordan Reed ran when he was on the field on third down 3 years ago. Pretty much the same. So, you know, that 7-yard choice route.
And Latu, by the way, you mentioned Latu. You saw the Barrows piece with McLuhan, where McLuhan called him a 2nd-round pick and said that he's really special. Even brought up the name Tony Gonzalez and said that this kid looks like he's got a basketball player's build and game and movement ability. They said the same thing about Pettis, which sometimes is like a coverall to like, I know his 40 times stinks. I know, I know his workouts stink, but man, the guy is a basketball player. That's like a coverall for trust me, he's going to be good.
Agreed.
But I'm interested to see Latu and whether he's, got that fluidity that maybe, because let's be honest, it's Kittle and then open real estate. I mean, those jobs, whether it's Latu, Werner, Dwelly, Fumagalli, who they signed today, Bray, it's all these guys are, to me, it's Kittle and no other job is set.
Yeah, I mean, if he's Tony Gonzalez is one of the greatest tight ends ever. I'm looking at, am I wrong? What was Tony Gonzalez 40 time? Was it really slow? I'm seeing 4.83. That can't be right. Was he really that slow?
Well, yeah, I think so, but his vertical was great. What was it? Does it say vertical? Didn't he have like a 38-inch vertical? Maybe
he did. Hey, I kind of been down on Latu. I feel like he's just not fast enough, but maybe that's the comparison there. Tony Gonzalez. Wow.
Oh, that would be. I mean, if the guy's Tony Gonzalez, then John Lynch is Executive of the Year.
Tony Gonzalez. When was he drafted?
Years ago. Let me see.
No, I mean like when in the draft? He was the 13th pick in the draft.
First round.
He was the 13th. I don't think so. I call BS right here. There's no way. But hey, thanks McLuhan. I appreciate it. He gave me some time one time. He gave me like a half hour in a one-on-one interview, and I asked him about. So I'm not gonna. He knows more than me.
It says 4.83 and only a 33-inch vertical.
That doesn't sound right at all. How was he the 13th pick in the draft running a 4.83? I call BS. I'd like how a tight end. No, I'd love to know. So if anyone in the chat wants to educate us on,
he was good.
Tony Gonzalez combine numbers.
He was good at Cal as a basketball player too.
Oh, yeah,